her mind about how it is to be a woman, what it is like to be a woman, what it is to be a cool woman, what it is to be a powerful woman. So, in our culture in this day and age, we have a lot of confusion because a lot of the ways that we're showing our girls that what to be powerful means is to try to mimic a more masculine type of power. So, you can be as strong as a man, you can beat a man up in martial arts, which, I'm not saying that some women can't, but I'm saying, so if a girl is going to be, grow up imagining that she has to, the way that she's going to be powerful is by having competing energies with men. It's very sad because, I said in the very first video I did that women's and men's capacities are meant to dance together, are meant to collaborate and co-create, or not meant to really substitute the other. So we live in a very individualistic culture, and there's people that have had to really do things on their own, and it's really, really tough. So if you're a single parent, if you live on your own, you do have to take on a lot of the attributes of the other sex because you have to make it work on your own. It's really difficult. I'd say that in these situations, you probably would do super well to try to find an extended community to support you. Because I haven't even gotten there yet. We'll explore more of that. But cortisol in the body, just having the stress hormones for a long period of time really messes up with the woman's rhythm, with her sex hormones. And it's going to have a tremendous impact in her life, in her mind, in her emotions, in her fertility, in her health, in her well-being. Of course, the ripple effect, we're going to see there everywhere. And that's just to say, that's just the basic, to keep her sane, well, good, healthy. But I'm interested in beyond that. Beyond that is creating women cultures in which women completely thrive. They're not just okay, they're thriving. And for them to thrive, then they need to understand their cyclical nature. So most of our jobs, most of the things we do in modern day living require us to pump a lot of stress hormones in our bodies on the days that we're not wanting to do, or our bodies don't really feel like doing what we need to do. Because again, our bodies, female bodies, are cyclical. They're not meant to do the same thing, the same job, the same type of pressure the whole month. But let's leave this one for another video. So when a girl reaches menarche, she is going to start really soaking up her environment. Not that she wasn't before, but now she has the sex hormones. She's really in the beginning, in the seedling phase of a woman. She's like a seedling woman, So what do we do with seedlings in the garden? We have to water the seedlings, we have to weed around, take the weeds that are gonna suffocate the seeds. So that's a time to really weed around your teenager girl, see the people that she's hanging out with. That's the time that she's probably gonna be eating worse and, trying drinks and all that kind of stuff. So it's okay, her body's young, she can cope with all of that. But the more that you don't have to be a super overprotective parent. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, keep in mind that she will be soaking up her environment, which also means her parents and her uncles and aunties and cousins, extended family. So for the mother, if the mother hasn't developed a relationship with the menstrual cycle up to that point, that's a great time to even recognize that, notice that, start doing some, there's some other videos that you can go back to and do some work and have a look at what's the frame that you hold on your menstrual cycle. Because if you hold a very negative view on menstruation, which is not the menstrual cycle, menstruation is one phase of the menstrual cycle, which is the bleeding. If you hold a negative view on that and you have a bad relationship with that, your daughter, of course, will be soaking up that. And then I'm not saying that you should lie and pretend that you don't have that relationship. I'm saying if you have that relationship with your daughter, become really curious. You know, you can start exploring the channel, C Lab. There's lots of videos. There's videos in other people's channels. There's books they can start reading to go, wow, my culture hasn't prepared me for my cyclicity. So I am a cyclical being. I haven't lived like one. Of course, I'm not passing that on to my daughter, but it's time that I catch up with that. So for a lot of women, this is really hard. And there's a lot of grief because they go, oh my God, the times that I hated my period, the times that I was so embarrassed of having my period, the stories that I have heard. So it's really heartbreaking because a lot of women really late in life realize how much shame they held about their cyclical nature and mostly about their menstrual phase, you know, their periods. So that, of course, will impact the girl. But by you having an honest conversation and just going like, you know what? I wasn't taught any of that by my mom. And then you can ask your mom and see if your mom was taught by her mom. And I doubt she was. And then you can show your girl how far this has gone. I call this the broken lineage. It goes very, very far back. And it's up to us adults of, you know, I'd say my generation, the adults that are really coming into perimenopause now. And of course, I have my role models. So the adults that have done that for me, so they're a generation above me. They are the ones that initiated me because I didn't have that in my family, like most women. So we always need adults 1 or 2 generations ahead of us to go like, oh, okay. So what the world has taught me about the menstrual cycle was completely mistaken. And I don't think it was, on purpose. I think it was a lot of confusion over the years, like a telephone game, that a lot of wisdom was lost throughout the years. And I'll go into much, much, much more details on this at other videos because I'm writing a book about it. So I spend a lot of time thinking about it. But for your girl, notice what she's planting, the seeds that are being planted. Maybe do a special evening with her. If you're, take her out for dinner, her father can give her roses and maybe give her jewelry or take her to a special concert, do something that she would actually like and feel special. And the same, the mom can do something really special, do a day together. And then if you want to do something communal together, it's really beautiful as well. See if there is an invitation in your group of friends to do that. Maybe start by talking to the moms. Maybe you can start by sharing this video with the moms and going, how was your first period? A great place to start is having a group of moms sit together and talk about their first periods. And, I've done this probably hundreds of times by now. I'd say 90% of the time, the stories are not really easy stories, There's very uncommon stories of beauty in the middle of, nowhere. A parent never said anything to a kid. The kid should have been embarrassed, but the kid knew that that was something sacred and beautiful. There are these rare stories, and it's really beautiful, but most of the stories I have heard of my generation and the generations older than me, and still even a bit younger than me, I think this is not, common knowledge yet. This is one of the reasons of these videos and trying to bring this to a wider group of people, because this is the very foundation of a woman's life. She needs to be initiated in a way that she's proud of being a woman, and being a woman will have these interruptions because she is cyclical and she's meant to flow and have a rhythm just the same way that the moon has a rhythm. The moon is never still. It changes every day. So even if you get your girl to look at up at the sky and you can just start telling her, look at the moon. Is she ever still? She's never still. And she's full one day, just like ovulation, and the next day she's a little bit more empty. And then she goes, waning until she becomes the dark moon. So that's the same with a woman, with her emotions, with her psyche, with her intelligence. She's cyclical. She moves with and as the moon. So that's a very beautiful way to use nature, which is not even metaphorical. It's there's lots of chemical correlations with light and our endocrine system. But I'm again not going to get into this now. So planting the seed. So let's recap. Menarche is a very important rite of passage. It's going to tell a girl what she needs to know about being a woman. Then after that, when she gets to pregnancy and birth, the woman that she would have become is the woman that's going to birth her baby. If she hasn't had a good, beginning of womanhood, if she has had very low self-esteem, hated her period, hated her body, hurt herself, when she gets to pregnancy and birth, it's going to be much harder for her to catch up with all of that and really trust her body to birth. But it can be done. That's what I did. I caught up with that. And maybe I'll tell my story at another video. And then after that, she also, during matrescence and the time that she's a mother, and then her kids keep growing, and then she goes through perimenopause. If she hasn't fully understood her cyclicity throughout her life, she comes to menopause and it's a shock to her system, because then her system is going to start harvesting everything that she has planted in Menarche, from Menarche onwards. And all rites of passages, they build on each other. So whatever was planted in Menarche was growing, in the summer of her life. And then in the harvest phase of her life, which is menopause, she'll harvest that. So of course, it's not a life sentence. She can always catch up with that. She can always, during menopause, just, learn how to eat better, change her sleep cycles, make changes. But she'll have a lot of, if she has made decisions that didn't honor her body and her rhythmicity, her whole life, it's really, really difficult to catch up with all of that in one phase of life. So to give your girl a good go at being a woman in a way that she can really honor her rhythms, and she'll really understand when she's sick, if she develops a relationship with her rhythm and her menstrual cycle, what that means is that she'll really be attuned to her body, and she'll see how much bypassing of her body she has to do in a lot of jobs, in a lot of things that we do in modernity. And I even believe, that's a bit like controversial to say, but I believe that actually what people call patriarchy, I might even have said in one of these videos. So if women actually really start honoring their rhythms, I really believe that patriarchy wouldn't have a place to stand. It wouldn't be possible, because it is, women also keep the economy moving. So we're saying yes over and over again to things that are very detrimental to our bodies. But of course, I'm saying this is an ideal, because we have already constructed these systems. We're in a situation in which most women and men need to bring money home to pay their bills. So a lot of us are really trapped. And, the capitalist model is very, very unhelpful in helping women attune to their bodies. It doesn't care about anybody's rhythm, really. It just cares about a certain type of productivity. So, but the first step is not to bypass that, or to go like, some people, when I share that, go, but what do I do with this information? I can't quit my job, so I better just not even listen. And I'm saying, no, it can be really, really difficult to change your job or change your situation, but still, you should still listen, and you should still try to make the changes in a way that you can little by little include more of your rhythm in your day-to-day life, and create this modeling for your girls, and for the girls, and for their friends, and for your community. So I'll probably do other videos on menarche, matrescence, menopause. I'll probably also do videos that talk about that specifically, like very in more details. But if this is your case, if you have girls in your life, you can really make a difference by inviting conversations. If you have an opening with the mom of these girls, if you have an opening with these girls, you can really make a difference by just starting to look at them differently, not judging them through the lenses of modernity, but by really looking with awe and like, wow, there are these beautiful creatures that have rhythm, and modernity has, you know, suppressed the rhythm of a lot of us. So just by holding that, knowing that, trying to bring that knowing to your life in small changes make all the difference. So please don't be discouraged. Every time you see my videos, don't be discouraged. You know, there are big changes. You know, I envision big systemic changes, and I think they are necessary. But we start little by little, one girl at a time, one boy at a time, parents, educators, and that's how we move forward. Thanks for watching. And if you found this video useful, please share and take a moment to subscribe. See you next time.